What's up, everyone? It's Scotty with MoneyVest. Markets here rolling over a little bit. We had the S&P 500 still pushing higher. Obviously, NASDAQ coming down, but November, the month of November has been extremely strong for the markets, and they are up over 8, almost 9% in the month of November. And of course, December is getting started, so we'll find out very soon whether seasonality kicks in and whether December is going to be just as strong as November, if not more strong moving forward. Hope you all enjoyed this video and find it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, that 16% annual discount does expire tonight, so a couple more hours if you want to take advantage of that. You do get access to all the members-only private videos, Excel spreadsheets, and Discord access, including trade alerts, trade ideas. Everything is going to be included. And we'd love to have you on board. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help further. And this right here is going to be my Instagram. Definitely feel free to connect with me there. I do post a lot of stories, polls, tips, strategies. I will be posting a lot of videos and reels that will benefit you in personal finance and investing and trading as well. So link's going to be down below for that as well. So looking at the jobless claims, 218,000, still a really low number, and the economy continues to be extremely strong on the back of a very strong labor market. So 218,000 is the initial claims numbers. We did have the PCE inflation, that's the personal consumption expenditure numbers, come out 0.2% month over month, with a year-over-year number coming in at 3%, which was again a little bit better than what the expectations were. And core PCE, which is excluding for food and energy, at 0.2%, and year-over-year coming in at 3.5%, which again is in line with consensus, but lower than the previous number as well. So this gauge, which is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, is certainly showing signs of improvement, and we are coming down to some good levels, but core inflation is what the Federal Reserve is really watching, and we're at 3.5% right now, which obviously is much higher than the Fed's target of 2% as well. So Dow Jones jumps 500 points to a new 2023 high Thursday, capping an 8% November rally. So tomorrow is going to be the beginning of December. So December 1st is indeed here, but it's also the last day of the week. But November closed out with a very strong gain. We had Dow closing out November with an 8.9% rally. NASDAQ was up a little bit over 10.7%, and S&P up almost 9%. You see what happens the month of my birthday? This is what happens. I mean, this is what markets do. I mean, very strong celebration to the upside, and of course, you'll find out if December is any different, or if you do see some pullbacks in December. Seasonality wise, it is supposed to be one of the best months in the market. There's a very high probability that December actually ends up green, but again, we'll find out in the next 30 days. This right here is going to be the Dow Jones up over 520 points, 1.5%, S&P pushing up 38 basis points, NASDAQ up down 23 basis points. So what we really witnessed in the markets today is rotation. That's about as simple as it gets, because if NASDAQ is dropping and the S&P is up and the Dow Jones is up a lot, that tells you where the money's coming out of and where the money is going to. 2,700 stocks were red, in other words, declining, and 3,100 companies pushing higher. And this right here is the Fed Watch tool. And right now the market's pricing in 5 rate cuts priced in for 2024, and the first cut beginning in May. And this again is a lot of easing that the market's expecting. If there's any type of repricing risk, if the Federal Reserve doesn't actually cut rates, then obviously that's going to be a bit of a problem for the market to reprice and adjust those expectations moving forward. But right now it's 5 rate cuts priced in for 2024 starting in May. So this right here was the heat map. And you'll notice a little bit of that technology, and more specifically Max 7 stocks, which were basically flat to slightly down. We had Tesla down, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Meta, all these companies rolling over, with Broadcom and AMD also selling off. With consumer defensives, healthcare, we had energy, real estate, industrial, materials, utilities, and financials and technology stocks pushing higher very nicely. So it was a little bit of a broad-based rally, with Magnificent Seven and technology companies certainly selling off here on the day. So technology, cyclicals, and comm services, three of the biggest tech sectors rolling over. And over the last 1 week, comm services has actually underperformed significantly. Everything else is green. And over the last 1 month, of course, we have all 11 sectors pushing higher very much. And it's, of course, it's been very, very green for the market. Coffee prices and ethanol, oats all pushing up, with orange juice and sugar selling off. Obviously, you have Bitcoin a little bit over 38,000, and Ether just over $2,000 as well. So going over to the market, before we do that, crude oil prices did see a little bit of a spike, so pushing back up. I think we did have the OPEC report coming out today as well. So that came out, I think, at around 10 a.m. Eastern. And don't forget, tomorrow Jerome Powell is talking. He's going to be speaking at 11 a.m. Eastern. He's going to be talking again at 2 p.m. Eastern. So I'll try my best to be live for those events. But yes, Jerome Powell is talking tomorrow. Potentially going to be a market moving event, and very, very important for the economy. So this right here is going to be those lower highs. Very strong support right over here, sitting inside this green rectangle at around $72, $73 per barrel. And this right here is going to be volatility. So obviously it's been selling off. We are in this red rectangle, or in this red territory and zone, and it's going to be sitting somewhere between 11.2 to just a little bit under 13 for the volatility as well. And the next target and resistance is going to be at 18.7 to 20.7 as well. So of course, if the VIX spikes, we know what happens with the market. It's going to start to roll over a little bit, and it's possible that we do see it coming down once again. So going over to the market, if you take a look at S&P 500 first, you'll notice a very nice move to the upside. We continue to kind of hang up there at those overbought levels. Support level is going to stay put at 4,500, with a resistance up to as much as 4,600, and this really is a lot of consolidation for S&P. And again, like I said, the RSI MACD is hanging up there a little bit higher, overbought, and it's only a matter of time. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when the markets start to roll over and pull back. And that's why the risk reward is certainly not the best. If you take a look at percentage stocks trading above, below their moving averages, we are in this red territory, and we can kind of hang up there for some time, as you can see that's happened before. But a pullback is of course inevitable. This right here is also very similar analysis. Percentage of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average, up 4% yesterday. This number will be updated for today, tomorrow. And of course, a very nice move to the upside, getting inside this red rectangle as well. Going over to the NASDAQ, and NASDAQ did see a bit of a pullback here. As you can see, that we are starting to roll over from that resistance of 14,400. So this right here is the chart, and we were in this very nice downtrend. We got a breakout. We made a nice higher high, and right now we're getting rejected at this resistance inside this red rectangle. And of course, not to mention the RSI, the MACD looking very, very concerning here. If you do see the MACD cross below the signal line, the RSI also rolling over. It's possible a very decent small 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5% pullback for the market. I would be watching 13,870 to as low as 13,700 on the NASDAQ. And S&P, I'll be watching closer to 4530, and of course, all the way down to as low as 4,400. That's going to be about 130, 140 point move down. For the S&P, about 3 to 4% pullback, I think, is very normal, and something that we could expect from the markets, and that's what we have to be prepared for from a risk reward standpoint as well. Going over to Apple stock, and Apple here on the day, just really consolidating. It starts to feel a little bit more of a bull flag for Apple. It's just trading in this sort of very, very tight range. So it's possible that this can be viewed as a little bit of a bull flag here, and a potential breakout can put us on the path to getting up to 197, and that's going to be that next target and that next level to watch for Apple. Talking about Amazon, and Amazon here also seeing some momentum, so red but green candle on the day. This is going to be that resistance that we have already talked about, and of course the support level is going to stay put inside this green rectangle in as low as 134, 135. RSI MACD also hanging up there. MACD in fact crossing below that signal line right now as we speak. So just got to be careful from a risk reward perspective. Tesla here also rolling over a little bit after tapping out its $240 resistance. So this right here was the level that we talked about for Tesla, and it's now starting to roll over a little bit, and that next support really is going to be inside this green rectangle, sitting between low 200, so like 200 to 212 is going to be that next support level to watch for Tesla. Talking about NVIDIA, now NVIDIA is in full swing down. We got the RSI, we got the MACD confirmation, and this is really, just simple, basic analysis. There's nothing too complicated about this. And the fact that we've been trading inside this horizontal pattern of consolidation, so just going sideways, it just makes sense for NVIDIA to roll over, considering that this right here has been a previous resistance where NVIDIA has gotten rejected multiple times. And of course, we've got a very nice support sitting right here in the low 400s, and you've got the RSI, the MACD confirmation, considering the MACD crossed below the signal line, and the RSI is also showing signs of a pullback coming down from those overall levels of well over 71, 72. So no surprises here. Let the price come to you. That's something that we have talked about. Don't chase, only attract good deals in your life. So AMD here also starting to show signs of some weakness, down about 2%. I think the entire semiconductor sector was extremely overbought. If you take a look at SMH, it was also overbought. We got the first MACD crossover below the signal line here for SMH, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does start rolling over. Good for us, good for me. I'll be looking to buy more SMH for the long term. AMD here, like I said, next support really is going to be $112. That's going to be that next target to watch for advanced micro devices. And of course, we've got the RSI and the MACD also showing signs of coming down. Talking about PayPal, and PayPal here on the day was slightly down about 60 basis points. So not a whole lot, just a lot of consolidation, and resistance is going to stay put at $65. This right here is going to be that support. And like I said, resistance is going to be at $65 per share. And we've seen a very nice move back up with the RSI and the MACD pushing through. And that is going to be some of those next levels to watch for PayPal, and support level at $56. Talking about Square. And Square here, very, very overbought right now. It has actually seen a very nice recovery back up. And as we have talked about, the next resistance and target is going to be all the way up to $83, $89 per share. So that right there inside this red rectangle is going to be that level to watch, and support level obviously sitting at $50 for Square. But of course, we are extremely overbought at the moment with the RSI and the MACD staying up there for really, really long. Next one on the list is going to be Visa, and Visa here, very similar to Square. Actually, we don't cover Square. We don't cover Square. I just brought it up out of nowhere. We don't cover Square anymore. But hey, some additional analysis never hurt anybody, so we went over Square. Visa here, also pushing higher very nicely. So we have talked about how it's been inside this uptrending channel of higher highs and higher lows, and support level is going to stay put right over here. That's going to be sitting roughly at around $249. So I think the much better chart for Visa is going to be over here. There we go. So overbought RSI, overbought MACD. There was, again, that head and shoulders pattern, which never really played out, didn't really break down below the neckline, and we have seen a very nice rally back up almost 1% in the month of, well, actually today, and in the month of November, the stock is up a whopping 9% as well. So very strong move to the upside, hitting a new all-time high actually today for Visa. So congratulations if you are trading, investing in Visa. That is super exciting. 256.77 with the market cap sitting at just over $500 billion. Going over to Meta Platforms, and Meta here with a very strong month, up over 8.5%, although rolling over here on Thursday. And this right here is going to be the overall technicals, as we are starting to come down to a very important support inside this green rectangle in $315 and $330 range. And of course, this right here is the overall higher high and higher low. And next support really is going to be $301 per share for Meta. Talking about Netflix, and Netflix here dropping a little bit over 67 basis points, and I would not be surprised if we do see some more downside for Netflix, considering how overbought we really are, and resistance is going to be at 485, with a support level sitting put at 452 for Netflix. So I do think there is a trade idea on Netflix. Google with a very significant drop of 1.8%, so definitely selling off quite a bit. And this right here is the red rectangle, or the resistance area that we've talked about for Google. And next support really is going to be down to as low as 126. We've completely filled this gap, so we can remove this. And next support, like I said, is going to be 126. RSI MACD also coming down, so no surprises here. Microsoft in a very similar situation, so it is showing signs of rolling over potentially. We've got the RSI, the MACD confirmation coming in. Very, very flat. So if there is any type of selling pressure that takes on, next support level is going to be 386 to 387, all the way over to $340 per share. And finally, Enphase and Costco. Enphase here. I did pick up some Enphase today at about $100, and I do plan on buying more as part of my other video that I did, 5 stocks and ETFs that I'm buying right now. Definitely do check that out. Support level is going to stay put at $92, resistance all the way up to 108. And then finally, we've got Costco, which is also pushing higher on the day. So there was a little bit of broadening on this rally. Technology obviously did struggle slightly because we did have the QQQs roll over and down a little bit over 25 basis points. But of course, the S&P, which is the SPY, pushing up over 3940 basis points, and the Dow Jones also very nicely green with a massive candle. Take a look at that, right? 1.5% to 360. So very, very strong move to the upside for the Dow Jones, becoming incredibly overbought and overextended to the upside right now. So we did see a bit of a broadening out of this rally and a bit of a rotation out of tech over to other parts of the market. But the entire market in whole is also looking at very, very overbought and overextended at the moment. So from a risk reward standpoint, not really touching anything right now. So hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to connect with me on Instagram. My handle is going to be CastWRP. I do post a lot of stories and tips and strategies and polls over there. And definitely do check out the Patreon link down below. 16% annual discount expires tonight. Last chance to take advantage of that. And as always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.